Coming to you super quick with a vlog opener slash update because I'm not making the mistake I did before where I just started vlogging without explaining anything to you. So we're traveling a lot over the next couple weeks. Well, we're supposed to be. Things are kind of in chaos and disarray, but that's fine. The plan is to go to Florida for my friend's wedding and then to go to Baltimore for a very special concert. So I'm hoping to bring you along for those, talk a little bit about what I'm reading and listening to along the way. I don't know if this video will see the light of day. I don't know what the next 2 weeks are gonna look like, to be entirely honest, but welcome to the vlog. Let's see what happens. The glamour of driving through rural South Georgia. Okay, it is so loud out here. There's like cars and music and people talking. But I'm at the hotel pool. We listened to the majority, I would say, of The Sunlit Man by Brandon Sanderson on our drive down today. It's not a Stormlight Archive book. It's one of his like standalone novels, but my husband had recommended that I read it before I read the last book in the Stormlight Archives. They're all a part of his big interconnected universe, and he thought that that I might enjoy reading this one first. So he had already read it, but he was like, of course I'm happy to listen to it again. So we listened to probably, I would say like 75 to 80% of it. I'm chilling at the pool. I'm just gonna take a little bit of a dip, but I am very close to finishing Castle of Water by Jane Huckelbridge. I've read 2 parts out of the 3. It's a pretty short book. It's like under 300 pages. This is a reread for me. It's a story I read years back and absolutely loved and have been wanting to reread for a while. It's about this couple. Well, they're not a couple. So they're like 2 strangers. They get stranded on this deserted island together. So it's a survival story. For whatever reason, I've always loved like plane crash deserted island stories. And I think this is one of the better examples of that genre. So I'm enjoying my reread of it. I'll probably try and finish it tonight and then switch over to my like Kindle read TBR. Quick hotel room check-in. I did finish Castle of Water. It's actually the next morning. I want to hold it up, but it's just the cover. I didn't bring the dust jacket with me. I think I told you that this is a book about these people who crash onto this island. They're both traveling to Polynesia, to an island in the Marquesas, I think, and their plane goes off course, and then it's just an American man and a French woman left, and they manage to survive on the island for, I think, like close to 3 years or something. It's like a really long time, and so it's a survival story. I feel like the 2 strongest things about this book and why I really like it so much, first of all, is the writing. He definitely takes a kind of a literary approach to it. He said when he was talking about this book, I remember reading that he wanted to write compulsively readable literary fiction. So it's definitely like plot driven, but there's a bit of a literary tone to it. I will say one of the things that makes it literary is that our narrator, it's not first person, there's like a, an omniscient narrator, but the narrator kind of inserts their voice and opinions sometimes. Like the narrator kind of inserts themselves into the story in a way that I think I found interesting the first time I read it, and this time I found a little bit annoying. That's not always my favorite kind of, I don't even know what you would call it, literary device or tactic or something. In this instance, I was like, let's just go back to the island. I don't want to hear your thoughts, narrator. I don't care about you. And the other thing that I think is really strong is the ending. I can't tell you anything about it. I don't want to tell you anything about it because, again, I think it's what makes this book so good is what happens at the end and how it wraps up. And so I don't want to spoil it for you. I highly, highly recommend that you read this book if the idea of like a literary-ish plane crash survival story sounds good to you, then I think you will really, really like this. That's my reading update. I am going to go back to the pool. I do need to decide what I want to pick up next. I'm in a bit of a weird situation. It's Monday. Tomorrow, Tuesday, book release day. Adversary to the Villain is coming out. This is the 4th book in the Assistant to the Villain series. It's on my like anticipated releases list for the year. I'm ready to wrap this series up. So I know that I'm going to want to get that book and start reading it tomorrow, but I want something to read at the pool today. So I'm like, do I start something and and then wait for adversary to the villain, or do I start something today and then just like pause in the middle of that? I'm not 100% sure. I do have a Kindle read going on, but it's my like bedtime book. I'm reading a biography of Nancy Mitford, and I don't know if that's necessarily like poolside reading vibes. I'm also almost done with that too. So if I finish that up at the pool, I won't have anything to read tonight. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. We'll figure it out when I get there. I have a lot of options on my Kindle, so we'll see what I decide. In a second, I'm gonna see if I can like find a random movie or something to watch on TV. We don't have a TV in our bedroom at home, so watching TV in the bed is something that I only do in a hotel, and it just feels like such a treat. So I'm gonna see if I can find something, and if I can, I will go back to reading The Knight the Moth. Sorry, it's reversed. This is like a super popular book over the last couple years. This is the first book in a series. I actually think the second book is coming out like right around this time. It's just kind of coincidental that I picked this up now. I saw it on KU on Kindle Unlimited. I had like a 3 free month subscription, so I'm just poking around and seeing what I can read on KU before I cancel it next month. And I was like, you know what? On a trip, in a pool, why not try like one of the hot new romanticities and see if I like it? I really liked Rachel Gillig's other series, the one with One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. I feel like I've heard mixed reviews on that from some people on BookTube, but I like loved it. And so I thought maybe there was a chance that I would like this one. The Knight and the Moth, as the title suggests, is a romance where there is a knight involved. He is like one of the king's knights. The female main character is a diviner, kind of this like set apart, almost holy being. Her eyes are always covered. She wears like long white shrouds and things like that. And she is able to kind of foretell the future by dipping in this holy spring at the church. And there's like a gargoyle involved. So all kind of very medieval, religious-y. And I feel like what Rachel Gillig really does well, what I liked what she did in her other series, is atmosphere. I never really cared that much about the romance actually in the One Dark Window duology. I think it's called The Shepherd King is the actual name of the duology. The romance was just kind of there, and I was like, okay, cool, but actually I care a lot more about the plot and the world building. So I was interested to know how I would think about this one. I'm about over a third of the way through. I read 36% of this book already today. I would say that I definitely have some qualms about the writing. I find the dialogue very odd. Like sometimes I feel like the people talking like this have access to social media in 2025, and then the next sentence they'll be like kind of very archaic and traditional. The world building, especially the dialogue, and some of the characterization, I would say, of the characters is just coming across as a little bit odd to me. I'm not quite sure what to make of it yet, but I am invested and interested in the plot. I kind of thought I'll give this a little bit, and if I'm not feeling it, I'll DNF, but I don't have any desire to DNF. I'm kind of like, I want to find out, you know, what happens next. I like our two main characters. I think that they're interesting. So overall, like as a story, as a book, I'm into it. I just am not like completely sold on the writing, but that's okay. Like not everything, I mean, the problem is like I just finished East of Eden last week, and not everything is going to be easy to be, and not everything needs to be. It is okay for something to just have an interesting story that keeps you engaged when you're reading it, like in the pool or at a coffee shop while you're on a trip. I'm gonna go see if I can find a fun movie. If not, I'll just read this book a little bit more, and I'll check back in when I have more updates for you. Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, baby. Let's do it. Homecoming Queen. Wait, what's the last word? Don't be stupid. Yeah, smart. Yay, Homecoming Queen Latifah.
I was down in a twilight, trying to override what I couldn't erase. But you always come back, you know it comes natural. Must be something I could do, now say your name. 'Cause I only miss you when you are gone. I'll do move on. I always tell myself it's time for someone new. Then I see your face again, oh no, I see your face again. I saw a silhouette and wish that it
Sorry, trying to, oh god. Prop this up. So I finished The Knight and the Moth. I felt like it got worse as it went. Like when it started, I felt like this is interesting, this has potential. I found a few things a little off-putting. Whatever reason, she decided to have the dialogue be like super modern. It just had such cognitive dissonance with the setting. I was just like, I don't understand. When and where are they? Why are they speaking like this? Why are they acting like they're at a frat party? I thought this was supposed to be about this woman who's essentially like been a holy set apart priestess her whole life and a knight, and yet like they're behaving like college kids on spring break. I don't even know. I felt like the whole thing was a collection of ideas. I felt like she had a concept and a premise, and I will say like the concept I think was cool. I think that what Rachel Gillick does well is interesting and unique magic systems. In this one, it's these like 5 kind of magical stone objects that make up a big source of power in the gods in this kingdom, in addition to the diviners who have these dreams when they're drowned and submerged in this particular spring. So it's like all of those together kind of make up the magic in this kingdom. I thought that was kind of interesting. Like the Shepherd King duology, we do have our cast kind of going on a quest to find certain objects. Like in that previous duology, it was cards. In this case, it's these stone relics almost. And I think that's unique. I haven't read anything like that. I thought that was cool. So like premise, decent. But then, you know, when I was reading the actual story, what it felt like to me was that she had ideas for scenes. Like she had an image in her mind of how she wanted this scene to be, certain conversations, certain scenarios and scenes. And so she just kind of like put her characters in those scenarios because she wanted them to happen. Meanwhile, none of it made any sense. Why are they in this situation? Why are they behaving and speaking the way that they are? You know, you have something like this character like the gargoyle. He's this kind of clippy, funny, derpy, literal stone gargoyle who is like super loyal to our main character. He kind of follows her around and they develop this deep friendship and relationship, but we don't know why he's loyal to her. Like it's never explained. Why is he there? I think she just wanted a quippy side character. Or, you know, during like the spicy scene, the main male character is like, I'm having some very unknightly thoughts about you. So like he's a knight. He's like, you know, I'm a bad knight. I'm God. Oh, that sent a shiver down my spine. But he has never behaved like a knight. Like the whole book, it's been very obvious that first of all, the knights don't really have any sort of code anyway. The king himself is like very lax. They all have a very like congenial relationship. There is no strong hierarchy. There is no strong moral code. So why, what do you mean unknightly? Like, I feel like she just wanted to put that in her spicy scene. I don't know. It just, I didn't like it. I knew this was gonna end with like some big something happening in a cliffhanger. And I think towards the beginning of the book, I was feeling like, I mean, yeah, I might read the second book. It comes out, I think, next month. And by about 50%, I was like, yeah, I'm not finishing this series. And by about 75%, I didn't even want to finish this book. I basically forced I was like, my eyes were literally just kind of moving around. I was skipping paragraphs on the page because I was so bored. I'm like, I don't want to be reading this anymore. Not for me. I think people who read a lot of romantasy will probably like this because, like I said, it's a unique premise, and I don't think you always get a unique premise in romantasy novels. It all tends to feel a little bit recycled. So if the things that I'm talking about, like kind of cringy, tropey setups and not the most sense in like character motivation or backstory, and also like kind of modern dialogue, I think things like that just don't bother a lot of people, and I'm happy for them. I wish that could be me. I am not, unfortunately, unbothered. I'm very bothered. So if the premise and setup sounds interesting to you and you read a lot of romantasy and just want something like fun, then I think this book would be for you. But alas, 'twas not for me.
I always tell myself it's not for someone new. When I see your face again, oh no, I see your face again. I saw a silhouette and wish that it was you. Hope that I see your face again, oh no, I see your face again. I see your face again. I see your see your face.
So it is the next week since we last spoke. I have returned from my trip to Florida after my friend's wedding, did some stuff at home, turned back around, drove to Baltimore and back. I got back last night. I am now done with my travels and I start orientation for my new job tomorrow. So quick turnaround here. I'm coming to you after the Baltimore trip to let you know a little bit of what we did. I'll close out with the vlog footage. There isn't a ton, but we did go up for a very special event, which was the BTS concert. I had the time of my life. I've been a fan of BTS since like 2022, which was right before they broke up. Well, didn't break up. They went on hiatus to do their military service. So I was like, I don't know if I will ever get to see them live. Absolutely thrilled. Had the time of my life. I know it's not fun to watch somebody else's footage of a concert they went to, but I'll put just a little bit. I'll restrain myself just a little bit at the end of this vlog so you can see what I experienced. But reading update wise, in the meantime, towards the end of the Florida trip and then into the weekend when I was back home, I did start and finish Adversary to the Villain. Ooh. I think what I had previously said about this book, and I know I've talked about it before, I don't know if I talked about it in this video, was that I thought this series was a lot of fun. I loved the kind of jokey, humorous tone. I loved the lightheartedness. I loved the tension between our two characters, but that, especially I think by the end of the second, the third book, I felt like the plot was pretty weak, and it's just gotten worse. I thought that this fourth book was supposed to be the end of the series. It, in fact, is not. There is definitely at least one more because this book ended with a giant cliffhanger, and I'm really irritated by this because I was ready for this thing to be done. Yeah, this was a letdown for sure. I'm feeling like I might be done with this series at this point. We'll see. I think I'm mostly just irritated that my expectations were like so unmet. I don't want to talk about it anymore because I also complained a lot about The Knight and the Moth. So kind of 0 for 2 on the romantasy series books that I thought I would try and read for fun while I traveled. But a book that I have really enjoyed from our travels is that I told you we listened to The Sunlit Man on the Florida leg of the trip. We did finish that up on the way back. I liked that book. I wasn't like blown away by it, but I thought it was good and I thought he did some really interesting things with the character. For the Baltimore leg of the trip, we have listened to Project Hail Mary. We're not quite done. We're at like 85%. So we're definitely going to finish it up over the next couple of days and then hopefully watch the movie because I really want to watch this movie. This book is so cinematic. Like the whole time we were listening, I was like, I can see this happening in my mind. I need to see this on the screen. This for sure has been the best book, or my favorite, at least I would say, of all the books that we've listened to or read during this vlog. I'm just having the best time. My husband and I both are loving this book. I feel like what I love in this that I was missing in those other ones is the perfect balance of plot driven and a well-written and interesting plot, but also like really good attention to detail, a pretty narrow scope and focus, and that he's not trying to do too much. So our main premise is that our protagonist wakes up in space and he has no idea who he is, where he is, why he's there, what he's supposed to be doing, any of it. So he slowly pieces it together, mostly through flashbacks. And I don't normally love a flashback or a dual timeline, but I remain equally interested in both halves of this story. Like I'm always excited about getting back to the current timeline or getting a new flashback. It's really interesting. It's really this giant puzzle and mystery. Like how did he come to be on this spaceship? And we're figuring it out pretty much as he is. There's also just like a ton of science, which isn't normally my thing. So it's pretty miraculous. I give Andy Weir a medal for making me interested in science. Like I actually care about what he's talking about. Do I understand all of it? No, but that's okay. My husband does. He's like, oh. He's really like responding when they're talking about science stuff. And I'm like, is that important? Is that a big deal? But thankfully, the author then goes on to explain to us why it's a big deal. He does not expect us to be science experts, but I also don't feel like he talks down to us like we're complete idiots. It's a good balance. I am very, very excited to wrap this book up. I'm very invested in the story. I have like a premonition of what might happen, and I hope it doesn't, because that would make me really sad. I feel like this book has to have a happy ending. I mean, it may be like bittersweet. It's the sort of book that like based on the tone and based on the way that people talk about it and the fact that it was made into this movie, I'm like, I would be shocked if there was just this really like depressing, sad ending. So I don't think he's gonna do that, but I also, I don't know how he's gonna resolve the situation that he's in. So we will find out. I need to sign off because I need to go get a haircut. I crammed this update in the morning before I went and got my haircut because I'm getting a pretty big change, and I'm like, that would be so weird if the very last thing of the video I show up and I look totally different. I am excited about my haircut though. This is my inspo, so we'll see if it ends up looking like that. Hopefully watching a vlog of my last 2 weeks has been less chaotic than it has been for me to live the last 2 weeks. In my mind, this is kind of wrapping up summer because I do start teaching a new semester this coming Monday. So summer's over, and what a great time that we had. I will see y'all in a couple weeks for a new vlog, and we will close out with some lovely footage from our Baltimore trip and BTS.